Maya woke before sunrise, as she did every school day. The sky was still dark when she slipped from her bed. She pulled on her uniform knit navy skirt, crisp white shirt tanned, tied her hair into 2 low braids. In the quiet kitchen, her mother, Angela, poured cereal into a bowl. "Morning, sweetie," Angela said softly. Maya managed a small smile. She wasn't hungry, but she sat at the table anyway. She spooned a few bites, feeling a knot of worry twist in her stomach. Outside, the air was cool against her cheeks. As Maya walked to the bus stop, she walked along the sidewalk lined with oaks whose leaves whispered in the breeze. Her backpack felt heavy on her shoulders, though it held only books and her pencil case. Her mother walked beside her until they reached the corner. "Be safe," Angela said, touching Maya's shoulder. "I'll see you this afternoon." Maya nodded, but her mouth felt dry. When the yellow bus rumbled to a stop, Maya climbed the steps and found her usual seat by the window. She watched the empty houses pass by, neat lawns, tidy gardens until the bus grew crowded with children chattering and laughing. Maya tried to join in, but her mind stayed on a strange feeling she had since yesterday. At lunch, she had overheard whispers about something mean waiting outside the fence. She shrugged it off. Who would do something mean to her? At the school gate, Maya stepped off the bus and turned toward the playground. She saw her best friend, Lena, waving from beneath the big maple tree. Lena ran over, her ponytail bouncing. "Hi, Maya," she said. "Everything okay?" Maya forced a grin. "I'm fine." Lena studied her face, then grabbed her hand. "Come on, let's go play." They walked side by side, their shoes clicking on the pavement. As they neared the fence by the swings, Maya spotted a dark shape among the metal bars. Her breath caught. Hanging there was a rope tied into a loop. It swayed slowly, as if someone had breathed on it. Maya stared, unable to move. Lena tugged her arm. "Maya, look." Maya's hands trembled. She took a small step closer, heart pounding. The rope looked old and rough. It made her chest ache and her throat tighten. Children paused in their games. A group of boys kicked a soccer ball back and forth, but they stopped when they saw the rope. 2 girls skipped rope nearby, but they froze, jaws open. A teacher on patrol hurried over, frowning at the sight. Maya felt the world tilt beneath her feet. She wanted to scream, to run, to do anything but stand there. Instead, she whispered, "Why is it there?" Her friend Lena wrapped an arm around her. "I don't know," Lena said, eyes wide. "This is not right." Maya felt tears burn her eyes. She knew the noose was more than a rope. It was a symbol of hate and fear. She had learned in history class how people used it to scare others, especially black families. Now she felt the weight of that history pressing on her small frame. Maya tried to touch the rope, to pull it down, but her fingers shook too much. The teacher, Mrs. Carter, knelt beside her. "It's not your fault, Maya," she said quietly. "Stay back, sweetie." Mrs. Carter snapped a photo with her phone, then called another teacher over. Maya watched as the grown-ups whispered and gestured toward the rope. She felt like an outsider in her own school. Her chest felt tight. Each breath was a struggle. She thought of her father, who was away on duty. He was a Navy SEAL, strong and steady. He could fix anything, protect anyone. She imagined him stepping off a helicopter, scanning the ground with calm eyes. She wished he were there now. Maybe he would make the rope fall. Maybe he would make the fear go away. Children gathered at a distance, pointing and murmuring. Some cried quietly, but some ran to fetch a ball and try to pretend nothing was wrong. Maya glanced at Lena. "We should go home," she said, voice barely louder than a whisper. Lena nodded, taking Maya's hand. Together, they backed away from the fence, their footsteps light and quick. As they walked to the front of the school, Maya felt the sting of tears. Her uniform collar felt scratchy against her neck. She wiped her cheeks with the back of her hand and blinked fast. "Don't cry," Lena said. "I'm right here." Maya nodded again. She pulled herself together. She was 10 years old, but she felt much older now. The school office was crowded. Mrs. Carter led Maya inside and asked her to sit on a small chair. She handed Maya a glass of water. Maya took it gratefully, praying the water would calm her trembling hands. Her teacher knelt beside her and gently brushed back a braid. "This was wrong, Maya. You didn't deserve this." Maya swallowed hard and said nothing. After a few minutes, Angela burst through the office door. Her eyes were red but fierce. She ran to Maya and wrapped her in a hug. Maya felt safe again. Her mother whispered, "I'm so sorry this happened." Maya shook her head. "It's okay." But it wasn't okay. Angela held Maya's hand tightly as they walked out of the school. On the sidewalk, the rope was still swaying in the breeze. Maya glanced back once more. The fence looked empty without the rope, but she knew it would be replaced if no one stopped the bullies. At home, Maya sat on the couch wrapped in a blanket. Her father, Jackson Hayes, called from the base. His voice was calm and low over the phone. "Sweetheart, are you all right?" Maya heard the concern in his words and felt a tiny spark of hope. She told him what happened, her voice shaking. He promised he would come home as soon as he could. Maya stared out the window. The sun was higher now, and the yard glowed green. The morning's fear was still inside her, but it felt quieter. She closed her eyes and pictured her father standing tall in his uniform, ready to protect her. She thought of how brave she could be, too, with her family by her side. When she opened her eyes, Maya felt a new thread of courage. The world had shown her its worst in that moment by the fence. But she would not let that moment define her. She would face the rope again if she had to. She would speak up, would find strength in her father's promise and in her own beating heart. That morning of fear would stay with her, like a shadow on the playground. But it would also mark the start of something else's story of courage, of family, and of standing tall in the face of hate. And Maya, little girl with braids and a heavy backpack, would carry that story forward, one careful step at a time. Angela paced the living room floor, her mind racing as she waited for Jackson to come home. She held the phone tight, eyes fixed on the front door. Maya sat on the edge of the couch, legs swinging, hugging her favorite stuffed rabbit. Outside, the sun began to sink, painting the sky in soft pinks. Maya looked up at her mother. "Will Daddy be back soon?" she asked, voice small. Angela took a steady breath and knelt to hug her. "He's on his way," Angela said. "He's talking with his team right now, planning how to help." Maya nodded, though she did not fully understand. She missed her father's calm voice and strong arms. She swallowed hard, trying to be brave. Angela placed a hand on Maya's shoulder. "We will face this together," she whispered. Maya felt a flicker of hope. A knock sounded at the door. Angela opened it to reveal Jackson in his uniform, looked tired but determined. He crouched and wrapped his arms around Maya. She pressed her cheek against his chest and let out a small sob. "Dad," she whispered. Jackson stroked her hair gently. "I'm here now," he said. "I won't let anything harm you." Closed her eyes, feeling safe for the first time since morning. After dinner, Jackson drove Maya and Angela back to the school. Maya sat in the back seat, clutching her rabbit. The streetlights glowed and the empty playground loomed ahead. Jackson, parked by the school gate, in the dark, the rope still hung from the fence. It looked cruel against the night sky. Jackson got out, walked up, and knelt to examine the noose. He touched the rough fibers, then snapped photos with his phone. A local police officer arrived, guided by Angela's earlier call. The officer greeted Jackson with respect when he saw the uniform. "Chief Petty Officer Hayes," the officer said. "Thank you for coming." Jackson stood and met the officer's gaze. "Thank you for responding so quickly," Jackson replied. Together they spoke in low tones, sharing what they knew so far. Jackson pointed out footprints and scuff marks near the fence. Maya watched from the car window. Tight, she wished she could speak to the officer, but she felt shy. Angela placed a comforting hand on her knee. After a few minutes, Jackson returned. He opened the car door and helped Maya out. "Let's go inside," he said. They walked through the school's front entrance, where the principal waited under bright lights. In the office, the principal, Mr. Lewis, stood stiffly behind his desk. He looked tired and sad. Jackson shook his hand firmly. "Mr. Lewis, thank you for meeting us," Jackson said. Maya peered around the office, seeing framed pictures of past school events. Her classroom photo hung on one wall. She felt a mix of fear and pride. Mr. Lewis began to speak slowly. "We have interviewed some students who were near the fence. We have names, but they have not confessed yet." Jackson nodded. "I want to meet with them," he said. "I want to give them a chance to explain and to learn why this is wrong." Mr. Lewis glanced at Angela, who gave a small nod. Soon, 3 students were brought into the office one by one. They looked uneasy under Jackson's steady gaze. Invited them to sit and took a calm breath. "I am Maya's father," he said. "I serve our country as a Navy SEAL, but today I am here as her father." The students fidgeted. Jackson continued, "What happened at the fence today hurt Maya deeply. I want to understand why." One by one, the students spoke. The first boy's voice cracked as he said he thought it was a prank, not knowing the meaning of a noose. The second shrugged, saying his friends dared him to hang the rope, never thinking about its history. The third, a girl, said she felt pressure to join in when her older brother laughed. Tears welled in their eyes as they realized the harm they had caused. Jackson listened without anger. After each confession, he spoke with gentle firmness. He talked about respect, history, and the meaning of symbols. He shared a story about his own childhood, when he faced unfair words because of his skin. He said he felt afraid and alone, just like Maya did that morning. The students hung their heads as he spoke. When they finished, Jackson looked at each of them in turn. "I forgive you," he said softly. But forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means we learn and we grow. You must help put up new ribbons on that fence. You must show kindness to everyone, even when it feels hard. The students nodded, wiping tears from their cheeks. Angela watched from the side, proud of Jackson's calm strength. Maya stood behind him, listening. She felt a surge of pride for her father and a small spark of courage for herself. She knew she would be part of the next step, a small ceremony on the playground to replace the hateful symbol with something positive. The next morning, Jackson and Angela arrived at the school before the students. Maya carried a box of colorful ribbons, each with a small note about hope or respect. The 3 students joined her at the fence and tied their own ribbons, saying, "I am sorry and I will be kind." One by one, more classmates came, adding ribbons of blue, green, yellow, and pink. A small crowd formed, teachers, parents, and students. Mr. Lewis spoke into a microphone, introducing Maya as the brave girl who helped them learn a lesson about respect. Maya's voice shook as she read a short note she had written. "We stand together. No hate here." The crowd applauded quietly. Maya looked at her father, who smiled and gave her a thumbs up. After school, Maya and her father walked home together. Maya skipped a few steps, feeling lighter than she had in days. She told him about a new friend, one of the students who had hung the rope. "She said she wants to be better," Maya said. Jackson ruffled her hair. "People can change when we teach them in kindness," he said. Back at home, Maya hung a small ribbon on her bedroom door as a reminder. She took a photo of it and sent it to her teacher. She felt proud of what had happened. The rope had brought fear, but the ribbons brought hope. And her father's calm strength had shown everyone the power of forgiveness. That night, Maya lay in bed and thought about her day. She remembered the fear she felt at the fence, the tears in her eyes, and then the bright colors of the ribbons. She thought about her father's words. "We learn and we grow." As sleep arrived, Maya hugged her rabbit tight and dreamed of a world where no one felt alone or afraid. And in her dreams, she stood tall, a small girl with big courage, ready to face each new day. Maya woke early the next morning, her heart still fluttering at the thought of yesterday's events. She lay very still for a moment, listening to the quiet in her room. The ribbon on her door caught the soft light and seemed to dance as she touched it gently and felt a small swell of courage. Today, she told herself, she would walk into school with her head held high. She dressed slowly in her uniform, fastening each button with care. She smoothed her braids and brushed her teeth until her mouth tasted fresh. In the kitchen, Angela had made pancakes, and the warm smell filled the room. Maya sat at the table, picking at her food at first, but soon she took bigger bites. Pancakes were sweet and soft, and Angela smiled at her quietly. "You'll do fine," she said, patting Maya's hand. On the drive to school, Maya watched the trees pass by. She felt a tingle in her toes and wondered if she felt brave or if she only pretended. Angela glanced in the mirror. "Remember?" she said gently. "You have the power to change things by being you." Maya nodded and looked outside. She did believe that now, a little more than before. When they arrived, the school gate was lined with bright ribbons tied by students and parents. Each ribbon had a small note. "We stand with you, kindness wins, together we grow." Maya felt her chest warm at the sight. She saw Lena waiting by the fence, her face bright. "Morning, Maya." Lena waved and ran over. Smiled back. For the first time in days, she felt like she belonged. Inside the classroom, Mrs. Carter had placed a fresh ribbon on Maya's desk. She had also set out colored markers and paper. The board held a new assignment. Draw or write one thing you hope for in our school. Maya looked at it and felt a spark of excitement. She picked up a purple marker and wrote, "I hope everyone feels safe." As Maya worked, other students whispered words of support. One friend, Toma, slid a note across the desk. "I'm sorry it happened to you." Another classmate, Emily, offered Maya her extra set of colored pencils. Maya's heart eased. She realized that many children felt bad about what had happened and wanted to help. During morning break, Maya and Lena sat under the maple tree. Mia and Jamal joined them. They talked about their ribbon notes and what they would write next. Maya shared her drawing with them, bright flowers growing from a fence. Her friends nodded and added little sketches of smiling faces around it. Maya laughed softly as they drew together. At lunchtime, a video call came from Maya's father. He appeared on the classroom projector, in his uniform, but smiling. He spoke kindly to the class. "Good morning, everyone," he said. "Thank you for all your support for Maya. Remember, courage and kindness are our strongest tools." The students clapped, and Maya felt a rush of pride. Her father's calm voice made her feel strong inside. After lunch, the principal, Mr. Lewis, called an impromptu assembly in the gym. The ribbons swayed from the ceiling, and the gym shone with new light. Maya sat in the front row, her legs crossed and her ribbon in her lap. Mr. Lewis spoke softly about respect and unity. Then he turned to Maya. "Would you like to say a few words?" he asked. Maya's throat felt dry. She stood and walked to the microphone, her hands gripping the stand. She looked at the sea of faces, teachers, parents. She remembered the noose, the fear, and then the ribbons, the hope. Her voice was quiet at first. "Yesterday I felt scared and alone," she said. "But then I saw your ribbons. I saw your hearts. You showed me that I matter. Thank you for helping me feel safe again." Her words grew stronger as she spoke on. She told them that symbols can hurt, but that each of us can choose new symbols of kindness. When she finished, the gym was still for a moment. Then a loud cheer rose, and Maya smiled through tears. She stepped down, and her friends gathered around, hugging her gently. After the assembly, Maya found one of the students who had tied the rope. His name was Aaron. He stood by the doorway, head bowed. "Maya, I'm really sorry," he said quietly. Maya looked at him and took a breath. She remembered her father's words about forgiveness and growth. "Thank you, Aaron," she replied softly. "I forgive you. Let's make things better. Together." Aaron's eyes brightened at her words. He offered Maya a ribbon he had written that said, "I choose kindness." Maya tied it to her bag and smiled. From that moment, they walked back to class side by side, like new friends learning to heal. In art class that afternoon, Mr. Chan asked students to plan a large mural for the wall outside the gym, he said. "We will paint a tree of hope. Everyone will add a leaf with their wish for our school." Maya's group gathered around the sketch. She traced the tree trunk in brown paint, and Lena painted green leaves. Aaron painted a ribbon weaving through the branches. The mural grew bright and full. Tomas added a yellow sun behind the tree, and Emily painted birds flying above. As they worked, Maya felt a calm joy. She realized that art could help people heal and talk without words. The class laughed and shared paintbrushes, and Maya felt part of something bigger. When the mural was done, the principal held a small unveiling ceremony. Maya stood next to him, proud and calm. He pulled back the cloth, and the tree of hope shone on the wall. Students and parents clapped and took pictures. Maya's mother whispered, "You helped make this happen." Maya nodded, her eyes shining. That evening at home, Maya told Jackson and Angela all about the mural in the assembly. She showed them photos on her tablet. Jackson smiled and said, "You have a brave heart, Maya. You helped your school change." Maya felt warmth fill her chest. She hugged her father's photograph on the screen. "I learned from you, Dad," she said. Before bed, Maya added a final ribbon to her own collection. One said, "I will be kind always." She tied it to her lampshade so she could see it as she fell asleep. The day's events had taught her that hate could be met with love and fear could be met with courage. As she drifted off, Maya dreamed of a world where every child felt safe at school. She dreamed of more murals, more assemblies, and more ribbons. She dreamed that her father's words would reach every heart. And in the morning, she would wake again, ready to carry her hope forward, one bright ribbon at a time. Maya awoke to the soft glow of morning light spilling through her curtains. She felt a gentle excitement flutter in her chest. Today was different. The mural on the school gym wall was finished, and everyone felt its spirit of hope. Maya slipped out of bed and tiptoed to her desk, where the ribbon on her lamp still hung. She smiled at the words she had written the night before. "I will be kind always." She touched the ribbon and took a deep breath, ready for whatever the day would bring. Downstairs, Angela was already brewing coffee. The rich aroma filled the kitchen. Maya poured herself a glass of milk and sat at the table. She looked out. The window at the yard, where a pair of robins hopped in the grass. Angela placed a warm plate of toast before her. "Big day today?" she asked gently. Maya nodded, her eyes bright. "We have a special meeting after school," she reminded. Her mother. Angela reached across the table and squeezed Maya's hand. "I'm proud of you," she said. Those words made Maya's heart swell with warmth. At school, the hallways felt lighter than before. Students passed by the gym wall and paused to touch the painted leaves. Some whispered words of encouragement. Others pointed to the smiling faces in the mural. Maya carried her backpack, but felt as if she walked on clouds. In homeroom, Mrs. Carter handed Maya a folded paper. "This came from the community center," she said. Maya opened it to find an invitation. They wanted her to speak at a town gathering about kindness and respect. Maya's breath caught. She had never spoken in front of so many people before. When the bell rang for morning classes, whispers followed her down the hall. "Maya, you're amazing. Can I sit next to you at lunch?" She managed a shy smile. She still felt small and nervous inside, but she held her head high. In math class, her friend Tomas passed her a pencil with a small note around it. "Believe in yourself." Maya tucked the pencil into her pocket. The simple gift felt like a beacon of support. Lunch, Maya sat with Lena, Aaron, and Emily. Under the big maple tree, they talked about the invitation from the community center. Aaron's eyes widened. "You'll do great," he said. "Or tell them how the ribbons changed our school." Emily added, "We can come and cheer you on." Maya felt a rush of gratitude. She had learned that fear shrinks when people stand together with kindness. After classes ended, Maya joined Angela and Jackson in the principal's office. Mr. Lewis waited with a friendly smile. Jackson placed a hand gently on Maya's shoulder. "You're not alone," he said. "We'll help you prepare." Maya nodded, feeling her nerves settle a little. They reviewed what she might say, how the noose had made her afraid, how the ribbons had brought hope, and what she had learned about forgiveness. Jackson reminded her to speak from the heart, to use simple words, and to look at the audience with calm eyes. The community center stood a few blocks from the school. Its front doors were wide open, and a small crowd had gathered inside. Parents, neighbors, teachers, even the mayor. Banners of bright colors decorated the walls. some showing photos of the mural and the ribbon ceremony. Maya walked in with Jackson and Angela by her side. Her legs felt wobbly, but she held her family's hands until they reached a pair of folding chairs at the front. The microphone stood on a simple wooden podium. Maya's name was on a paper taped to the side. Speaker, Maya Hayes. She looked around at the sea of faces. Some were friendly and smiling. Some looked curious. Her heart pounded, but she remembered Jackson's words. She took a slow breath and closed her eyes for a moment, picturing the ribbon on her lamp. When she opened her eyes, she felt a steady calm wash over her. The mayor stepped up first and spoke a few words about unity and courage. Then she turned the podium toward Maya. Everyone clapped politely. Maya stood and carried herself forward. She placed her hands on the podium and cleared her throat softly. The room felt quiet enough that she could hear her own heartbeat. "Thank you," she began, voice small but clear. "I am Maya Hayes. I am 10 years old." A warm hush followed. "Last week I came to school and saw a rope tied into a noose on our fence. It made me feel scared and alone. I remembered stories in history about how this rope was used to hurt people like me. I felt my heart race and my knees shake." Maya paused to collect herself. She looked out at the crowd until she saw a few parents nodding gently. But then Maya continued. "My friends in my school put up ribbons with words of hope. They told me I mattered. They stood with me. That day I learned that even when something scary happens, we can choose love over fear. We can choose kindness over hate." Her voice grew stronger as she spoke. She told them about the mural, about the students who confessed, and about the ceremony where she forgave them. When she finished, the room remained silent for a moment. Then the applause began, soft at first, then growing louder. Maya closed her eyes and lifted her head, letting the sound wash over her. She felt proud and brave. As the crowd settled, the mayor invited others to share their thoughts. A parent spoke about teaching her children to be kind. A teacher spoke about how they would add lessons on history and respect. After the meeting, people approached Maya. With smiles, some shook her hand. Some gave her small gifts like bookmarks with inspiring quotes. One older man, with silver hair and gentle eyes, said, "You have a wise heart for your age. Thank you for teaching us all." Maya felt her cheeks grow warm with happiness. Outside the community center, the sun was setting, painting the sky in soft orange and pink. Jackson, Angela, and Maya walked home together. Maya held a small bouquet of wildflowers someone had given her. She nestled them in her backpack. "You were amazing today," Jackson said, wrapping an arm around her shoulder. "You've helped many people learn and grow." Maya leaned against him, feeling safe and loved. That evening, at home, Maya pulled out her art supplies again. She had an idea. She wanted to create small cards with drawings of ribbons and kind words to give to classmates who might need a boost. She sketched simple hearts and flowers, then wrote words like hope, courage, and together. Angela watched her from the doorway, smiling softly. "I want everyone to know that one person can make a difference," Maya said quietly as she drew. "And together we can change our school, our town, even our world." Angela nodded. "You already have, Maya. You already have." Later, Maya added the new cards to a small wooden box on her desk. She planned to leave one on a friend's desk each morning. She imagined a chain of kindness, each card inspiring someone else to do the same. As she placed the last card in the box, Maya felt a deep calm. She thought of the noose, the fear it had caused, and all the love that had replaced it. Before bed, she checked the ribbon on her door one last time. She smiled and touched the words, "I will be kind always." She closed her eyes and thought of tomorrow's ribbon box, of the new club she and her friends would start at school, the Unity Club. They would meet after school each week to plan more art, more events, more ways to spread kindness. Carried her away, Maya dreamed of a world where each noose was met with a ribbon, where fear met courage, and where hate met love. She dreamed of her school filled with laughter and bright art, of her community united in respect. And in her dream, Maya stood at the center, small but shining with all the hope she had helped set free. The morning sun filtered through Maya's window as she stirred awake. Today was the first day of the Unity Club meeting at school. Maya sat up and ran her fingers over the ribbon on her door. It still read, "I will be kind always." Gathered her school uniform and headed downstairs. In the kitchen, Angela was packing Maya's lunchbox. "Big day today?" Angela asked, folding Maya's favorite turkey sandwich in wax paper. Maya nodded, excited. "We're meeting in the art room after school. We'll plan a kindness week." Angela gave her a hug. "Your ideas will help others," she said. Maya felt her heart swell with pride. At school, the hallways were quiet in the early bell rush. Maya greeted friends with a shy wave. Notices on bulletin boards invited students to join the Unity Club. The art room door stood open, its windows decorated with painted hearts and doves. Inside, long tables held jars of markers, stacks of paper, and a large poster reading, "Unity Club. Kindness starts here." Maya took a seat at the round table in the center. Lena, Aaron, Emily, Tomas, and a few new faces sat nearby. One girl, Sarah, had painted a small ribbon on her notebook. She smiled at Maya and said, "I can't wait to help." Maya felt glad to see so many students ready to join. She remembered the fear she felt when she first saw that rope, and she realized how far everyone had come. Jackson had called the night before with news. He would attend the Unity Club's first meeting. Maya guessed he wanted to see how the club would grow. His words had been gentle. "Use your voice, Maya. Show them how simple acts can change a whole school." Maya beamed at the memory. Just then, the classroom door opened, and Principal Lewis walked in. He held a box of seed packets. "Good afternoon, everyone," he said. "I thought the Unity Club might like to plant flowers around the playground as a symbol of growth and peace." The students cheered softly. Emily helped pass out the seed packet sunflowers, marigolds, and daisies. Maya stood and laid out the club's plan. "First," she said, "we will write friendly notes to every student in the school. Then we will plant seeds in the playground garden. On Friday, we will have a kindness assembly." She looked around the room. "Who will help me?" Hand shot up. Aaron raised his. "I will design the notes," he said. Lena added, "I can make the assembly poster." Tomas offered to draw a banner. Everyone took on tasks with eager smiles. The bell rang before they could finish, but the energy stayed with Maya all day. In her classes, she passed out flyers and heard students say, "I want to join." At lunch, Maya and her friends sat under the maple tree, mapping out when to meet. Plans for painting rocks with kind messages and making friendship bracelets came quickly. Maya felt happy and peaceful. This was exactly what she had hoped for. After school, Jackson arrived to join the meeting. He wore his Navy SEAL uniform, neat and strong, but his eyes were warm. Maya's friends gathered around. Jackson knelt. To speak with them, "I am proud of you all. You are making a positive change." He explained how in the Navy, small acts of teamwork build trust, and how trust makes strong teams. The students listened attentively, inspired by his gentle words. When the meeting ended, Maya hugged her father tightly. "Thank you for coming," she whispered. Jackson ruffled her hair. "I wouldn't miss it." Angela smiled and took a photo of them all together, Maya in the center, her father beside her, surrounded by friends. The photo captured a moment of hope and unity. Over the next week, the Unity Club members worked tirelessly. They wrote over 400 notes, each saying things like, "You matter, be kind," or "I believe in you." They planted seeds around the playground in neat rows in the cool morning air. Each seed planted felt like a promise. Kindness will grow here. On Friday, the school assembly filled the gym. Banners of bright colors draped the walls. The Unity Club lined up along the front row. Maya stood at the podium, her heart thumping. But she remembered her first speech at the community center and her father's advice. Speak from your heart. She looked out at the students, teachers, and parents. "Good morning," Maya began. "This week, we wrote notes to every student and planted flowers outside. 8. We did this because we believe kindness can grow just like flowers. We hope each note made someone smile, and each seed will bloom into something beautiful. She paused to let her words settle. Then she smiled. Thank you to everyone who helped. Our school is stronger when we stand together. Applause filled the gym, students waved their kindness notes, and the principal brought out a bucket of soil. He invited teachers and students to add the final handful, sealing the garden project. The gym burst into laughter and cheer as everyone dug their hands in the soil. Even a few students who had once hung the rope now joined in, planting seeds and offering notes to younger children. After the assembly, Maya walked through the playground, where rows of small green sprouts peeked from the earth. She touched one gentle leaf and thought of growth and healing. She knew that hate could never win against a crowd of caring hearts. Later that day at home, Maya placed her collection of notes in a scrapbook. She carefully taped each one in with the date and a brief memory. Note for Emma Shea, loved pink ribbons. She added photos of the garden and the assembly. Angela sat beside her and said, "You've changed so much with your courage." Maya closed the scrapbook and hugged it to her chest. Jackson came home from the base that evening with a surprise. He had arranged for the students' kindness notes to be displayed in the base's family center so other children could read them and learn from Maya's school. Maya's eyes sparkled. She imagined children far away feeling hope from her simple words. That weekend, Maya and her family visited the community center again. The mayor had invited Maya to cut the ribbon on a new peace garden where volunteers had planted flowers alongside the mural's path. Maya held the scissors with shaking hands, then snipped the ribbon. A cheer rose from the crowd. Maya felt proud and strong, knowing her small act had grown into something that reached many hearts. Back home, Maya added a final page to her scrapbook. A drawing of a garden, a ribbon, and a shining sun. Underneath, she wrote, "Kindness grows when you plant seeds of hope." She placed it on her desk with a smile as evening fell. Maya lay in bed and thought back to the morning she first saw the noose on the fence. She felt the same knot of fear in her stomach, then remembered the ropes of support and kindness that followed. She realized how much she had grown, how a small girl with braids and a heavy backpack became a leader of change. Maya closed her eyes and drifted to sleep, thinking of new ideas. Maybe next month the Unity Club would hold a story of kindness contest or start a pen pal program with another school. In her dreams, she saw ribbons looping through city streets and gardens blooming on every corner. The next morning, Maya woke and touched her door ribbon. She whispered, "Kindness will never stop growing." She jumped out of bed, ready to plant more seeds of hope in her world. Behind her, a trail of bright ribbons and smiling hearts would follow, reminders that one small act can change everything.